Can you hear me? Turn your hearing aid up.
You're gonna have to say it in my good ear.
These are the bad guys. We need to kill these guys, you see?
Oh, okay. So that's who we're going for?
Yeah, these guys. You see, I'm looking right now. This guy. This is
Yeah. I don't know. No, I don't. This guy?
This is the guy.
It's
This guy.
it's like a mirror, but different. I don't know. I don't think they look the same. I'm gonna go for this guy. You go for your guy.
This guy?
No, not that one. This one. Ahoy, mates. Welcome back to the channel and another exciting video. Today we're diving into the seas, but with a twist. Sea of Thieves Pinball on the @Games Legends 4KP. And I'm bringing you a detailed tutorial to help you navigate the table, master its mechanics, and sail your way to high scores. Whether you're new to the game or a seasoned pirate looking for an edge, this walkthrough will leave no treasure unturned. So grab your flippers and let's hoist the sails. Welcome to the Flipper Academy. This is where we dive deep into pinball mastery. Today, we're going to break down the Sea of Thieves and see what treasures it holds. All right, pirates, we're going to talk about the ball save feature. Reason why I'm wearing these, because they're themed, right? But I actually noticed you can see my fingers a lot better when I point things out. So just look at the bottom, you can see that. Since we're here at the bottom, we're going to talk about the ball save. So as long as this is flashing, you'll get your ball automatically kicked back into play. You have a Murfolk here, and he usually kind of sits at the back there, but as soon as you launch the ball or auto launch, he comes up, and he sits right between your flippers. You can use him to hopefully block from a straight drain down the middle. Now, when you launch a ball, you get 30 seconds of ball save for free, and then it wears out. What you need to do to get it so that you can use it permanently, well, not permanently, but until your ball drain, these 6 rollovers right here that you see, once you fill every single one of those up, you'll get your ball safe here. It'll start to flash. If it's flashing quick, it's about to end. So once you get all 6, and then you have your ball lit and it's flashing like this, you're good. You do it a second time, now you're gonna light up your returns. So here and here. On these returns, they'll do single kickbacks. Okay, so what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna shoot the cannon. We're gonna let it drain. And you'll see it'll automatically shoot back in. And I don't know if you noticed, but what's happening is when I'm hitting the flippers, those lights are moving around. So manipulate it. You know it's going to come down there. Manipulate your light. Put an empty one there so that it goes down. All right. Now we're going to talk about the Megalodon, chests, and barrels. Now, they come up in the center playfield here in this open spot where the ocean is. All right. They trigger kind of randomly. So what happens is how they get triggered is anytime the ball goes down the in lanes, not your return lanes, those are your out lanes, but your in lanes. If they go down there, there's a chance that either a barrel, a Megalodon, or a chest is going to come out. The barrel is there just as a obstacle to basically block things. All 3 of them block things. However, the chest, if you hit the chest, you get a chest. There are, from what I noticed, 2 different chests. There's a normal one and then kind of like a gold sealed one, and those ones are valued a lot more. I'll explain chests later. Now, the Megalodon, he'll swim across here, And if you hit him, he's a million points. Now, there's a difference between points and gold, but later in this walkthrough, I'll explain that. I don't know what the ratio is for them to actually spawn, but you can spawn all three of them at once, and it's pretty chaotic at that point. However, you got to be careful because there really isn't sound indications for them. The Megalodon, when he comes out, if you really listen and pay attention, you're going to hear something swimming in the water. But it's not very predominant, but you can hear it. Now, the chest and the barrel, there's no sound effect or anything. You just got to keep an eye out for them. They catch you off guard a lot. So, but that is Megalodon, barrels, and chests. All right. So now to equipment. You have 3 pieces of equipment that you can get. Over here, in this lane right there, is a compass. Then you have a lantern, and then you have a spyglass. All 3 of those are your equipment. If you hit them in order, you get a value that is constantly changing, and I'll explain that in a second. But you need to hit compass first, then your lantern, and then your spyglass. And you usually do that shooting up to get to the top. But you hit them all in order, you get an equipment bonus. And it's points. It's not gold, it's points. What determines that, I'm not sure what it starts at. I think it's 3 million is what it starts at. But every time you hit one of these pop bumpers over here, okay, it goes up by 100,000. Think of it as like a progressive jackpot. You're constantly hitting those all the time. It just keeps multiplying, but you can't cash out until you hit compass, lantern, and spyglass. Now, it does not reset, is what I'm trying to say. It's commutative. So when you get it, say you get 5 million points for compass, lantern, spyglass in that order. The next time you do it, if you've hit them, 22 times, then you'll be at 7,200,000. So, had to quick math, but and you can keep doing that, until the end of the game, and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger every single time. You'll learn that later in a strategy when we get to the strategy section. But that is equipment. And now on to weapons. Weapons, you collect them at the top here. And they have the sailor's cutlass, the sailor's pistol, and the sailor's blunderbuss. What those do, when you go through them, they're flashing right now. When it goes over that rollover, it becomes solid. You light all 3 solid, it's your multiplier down here. So your 2 times, your 4 times, your 6 times, your 8 times, your 10 times. Each time you complete all 3, it goes up by 1 level. You'll start with 2 and work your way up. Once you get to 10, the next time you complete all 3, you get an extra ball, and it's instant. You automatically get it. You don't have to hit it. And then after that, every time you complete it, it's 5 million. And that is weapons.
Bonus times 4. Bonus times 6. Bonus times 8. Bonus times 10.
Holy shit. Not even trying. All right, so let's talk about ammo. Ammo are these 5 drop targets here. See these purple lights? Spells out balls. I'm assuming it's cannonballs. But once you hit one of those targets, a timer starts. The quicker you complete them, the greater the reward. You complete them and then go into the drop target, which is the drop hole right above the B there, and you'll collect your reward. If you do it within 30 seconds, you get 20 million points. You do it 31 seconds to 60 seconds, it's 10 million, and then anything above the 60 seconds is 5 million. And that's how you collect ammo. It's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. All right, let's talk about quests. This is when things start to get a little fun. So these are your quests right here. All 9 of these green lights, those are your quests. You must do them in order. It's not random. In order to activate these, you need to hit these 3 spot targets. And yes, it spells out hit. Once you hit all 3 of these, Tall Tail will light. When Tall Tail is lit, all you got to do is go into the drop hole here, the sinkhole, and it'll start that first quest. If you are successful on completing that quest, you will go to the second one. Well, the second one will light. Then you got to go back up to Tall Tail to activate the quest. And you keep doing that until you're done all 9. And each one, it gets tougher and tougher and worth a lot more points. You get points on this, not gold. If you fail any one of them, you will have to relight the 3 spot targets. But if you were successful, you don't need to relight them. Tall Tail will automatically light. And those are the quests. All right, we're on to the islands. This one is probably the one that gets activated the most because it's the easiest shot right up the middle. But you'll have these 2 lights here. You got Fortress Island and you got Treasure Island. So forts, you're battling skeletons until you defeat them all, and you get gold. You get a chest. Treasure Island, you're going around. Sorry, I had to think about it. You're going around and you're actually digging for chests. Chests, gold, same thing. Now, in order to activate those, you must hit at least one of these slingshots here. You see where it says island? Island, every time you hit a slingshot, it's going to bounce back and forth between these. So there's a little bit of randomness to it, but if you play your slingshots, you can set it up for what you want. You go up there, you hit it, and boom, you start that island. Now, Fortress Islands, like I said, you're battling skeletons. There's 3 different levels. You'll have 3, 6, and 10 targets, objectives that you'll have to do. It's random. Well, not random, but there's 10 Fortress Islands. They all have a different name, so listen to the announcer, and you'll learn whether it's 3, 6, or 10. Each one has a different value. Different chance of a certain chest, and that chest has a gold value. Now, Treasure Island. You go there. There are small and large. There's 5 of each. And you complete all the objectives. Basically, each light up target that comes up, you're going through, you're digging one hole, you're trying to find a chest. Don't find it, you move on to the next one. There is a chance on this one that the first hole you dig, boom, you got it. Could be the last one. And it could be any one of these lines all the way across, or it could be any one of these 3 spot targets, and each individual one would be an objective. Sometimes you get lucky and hit 2. But those are fortresses and the treasure. So you're either digging for gold or you're basically getting gold from defeating all the skeletons. Okay, we're going to talk about ship battles. So this is actually pretty fun. in order to start a ship battle, you have to assemble a crew. And your crew is here. You got a helmsman, you got a chef, you got a cannoneer, and you have a navigator. So once you assemble all 4 of those, you can start a ship battle. However, you must hit them in order. You got to start with your helmsman, and then you're going to transition over to your cannoneer. This one will light. Then your chef, and then your navigator. So it's left, right, left, right. Once you've assembled your crew, this ramp here actually opens up. When it opens, the load light will be on, and you can load a cannonball in there. As soon as you put your cannonball in there, it activates the ship battle. You got to be quick to see the DMD because the ball's going to come right out here. There's a little ramp beside it that's going to come out, and it'll be right to your left flipper. But if there's 3 ships you can fight, a sloop, a brigantine, and a galleon. So the sloop, it takes 2 hits. Brigantine takes 3 hits. Galleon takes 5. It's a tough one. But to hit the ship, it sounds simple. All you got to do is hit your spot targets here. The ones that say spot, hit, you know. So, and that'll do a hit. As soon as you hit it once, so say it's the sloop, you hit it once, you got to hit it one more time. Load will activate again, load her up, she'll come out, hit it again, and then you'll sink the ship. When you sink the ship, you'll get a chest. Remember, the chests have gold value to them. Each ship has a different chest that you can get. And depending on which ship you get, and that is random. It's completely random which one you get. And there's no end to it. You can just keep doing it, and doing it, and doing it. So it's not like once you defeat a sloop, a brigantine, and a galleon, it's not like it's, okay, you can't ship battle anymore. You can just keep doing it. And that is battling a ship. Okay, so we're going to talk about Pirate Lord and Cannon Multiball. So on Pirate Lord, you'll hit this right ramp. You'll see the Pirate Lord up here put his arm just out like that. It's going to catch the ball if you shoot it up that ramp. He'll throw it into the chest that's beside him. And if you do that twice, it will start Pirate Lord Multiball. Once that starts, these 4 lanes are the ones that you're going to be looking at. You must hit them in order. So your left orbit, and then it goes to your left ramp, your right ramp, and then your right orbit. And I believe you can do either orbit because these 2 join together. Now, each hit is worth 1 million points. You successfully do all 4, it resets and you start it over. You go to this side, then left ramp, and right orbit. That continues as long as you have 2 balls in play. As soon as you lose 1 ball, the multi-ball is done. Now, cannon multi-ball. So cannon multi-ball, this captive ball here, you need to hit it twice within 30 seconds. You hit it twice in 30 seconds, the ramp will open up here, just like in the ship battles, and load a light. You will put in your ball into the lock. Once you do that twice, you will start cannon multi-ball. And it just like the Pirate Lord multi-ball, you only get 2 balls. Now with this one, your jackpots are 1 million, and you'll have a spread of lights that are up. And you hit them, 1 million. Now, there is a way to do multiplier on this. So, any of the spot targets, your outpost or the 3 hit lights, one of them will light up randomly. You hit that, you're going to increase your jackpots to 2 million. And so on and so forth. You can keep doing it up to 5 million. So if you can keep those 2 balls alive, hit 5 of those or 4 of those spot targets, then every Every jackpot you're hitting is 5 million every single time. And it stays active until you lose one ball. And that is Pirate Lord Multiball and Cannon Multiball. All right, let's talk about the Kraken. What is Sea of Thieves without a Kraken, right? So, once you have 15 million gold, not points, gold, and that the gold comes from your chests, and it's accumulative. Like you could have one chest that's 5 million, one that's 10, now you got 15. If you haven't cashed them in yet, there's a 50-50% chance that the Kraken is going to show up. If the Kraken shows up, he's trying to steal your gold. If you do not defeat him in 45 seconds, all 8 tentacles, then he steals all your gold. But if you defeat him, you get to keep your gold and get an additional 5 million gold. That is the Kraken. Okay, now we're going to talk about extra balls. There's 3 ways to get extra balls. So with extra balls, when you are up here, you get the 10 times multiplier for your weapons. The 11th time, you get an extra ball. It was mentioned earlier, and then after that, 12 and beyond, you get 5 million for those up there. But that's how you get your first extra ball, is the 11th time up there, as soon as you finish your times 10 multiplier. The other way is the Kraken. If you defeat the Kraken 3 times, you get an extra ball. And the last and final way, probably the more difficult way, is by completing all your quests. So if you complete all your quests, you get an extra ball at the end of it. Now, if you've gone through it once already and got the extra ball, and you do it a second time, you'll get 50 million instead of the extra ball. And those are the 3 ways you can get an extra ball in the Sea of Thieves. Okay, so let's now talk about points, gold, and chests, and what's the difference. So points, pretty self-explanatory. Points is points. It goes right to your score. Now, there's a mechanic in here where you get another currency, which is gold, and you get gold out of chests. Now, there's 3 different levels of chests. You have the Seafarer's chest, the Marauder's chest, and the Captain's chest. Each one of those, think of it as low, medium, and high. Depending on what you're doing, what task you're doing, you'll get a reward according to those 3 levels. If it's a gold reward that you're going to get. So it first picks whichever chest you're going to do equal to that level. And then there's a randomness to each of those chests. So a Seafarer's chest is 3, 4, or 5 million. A Marauder's chest is 6, 8, or 10 million. And then obviously the Captain's chest, which is the best, you can get 10, 15, or 20 million. Once you have accumulated the chests, you need to cash them in order to convert them to points. And how you cash them in is the outpost over here. Remember, it was mentioned earlier, if you hit the outpost twice within 30 seconds, then you get to cash all your gold in and convert it to points to go onto your score. The conversion rate is 1 to 1. 1 gold, 1 point. So 5 million gold chest is worth 5 million points. Okay, pirates, now let's talk about high-risk zones. There are a few very dangerous shots on this table. It's very unforgiving. However, three sections for these drain shots are outpost. This one's nasty, and especially when you hit it, it creates a spin on the ball, and you'd be surprised at the arch it's going to do to come down here and go right through the middle. It'll squeeze right between your Murfolk and your flipper. So don't be, you need to figure a way to get that, not to do that. So another dangerous way are these spot targets, the hit targets. Remember with the ship battles and starting your quests, man, you get some pretty good drain shots there. And your captive ball. This one can be nasty as well. If you don't hit these square, they're pretty punishing. Even if you're off by a little bit, it has those little rubber posts on either side of these major targets. And they're pretty much set to mess that ball up and create a good solid drain. So be careful with those shots. And if you're going to use them, make sure you hit them square. All right, so now we're going to talk about some tips and tricks. The first one is the plunger. It's unpredictable. So most people, they'll just full throttle it and then pop it out. The problem with that is it's still random. It's not consistent. Because watch, I'll drain here. I wanted my ball save time. And same with the ball save. It's never going to come out exactly the same every single time. So if we drop it here, if you remember the first time it kind of bounced up here and then came back over, I'm going to do it again. Come on. There we go. Full throttle again. And then look, that looked really weak, right? It went right over to the left lanes. So, but I found a way to be a little bit more consistent at it. Let's just let this ball save go away. And then we'll drain again. Come on. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Thank you. So, okay. So if you look down at your cannon, there's a cannon there, but you can see your plunger slightly. All right, I'll throw up. I'll try to get a close up of it so you can see it a little bit better. The tip of the plunger, it's not like that bullet tip, right? This one, it's kind of, here's your plunger. It's kind of cut on a slope like this. So there's that little thing on the back of the cannon. That we'll call it a little nipple. You want that slice, that angled slice, the tip of it, to be right where that nipple joins that back housing of that cannon. And if you can just line it up, kind of like this, I'll show it on the screen. You can get more of an arch like that, and you can control it so much better. It's a little bit more predictable. You know, now is it perfect every single time? No, but it's in the ballpark. It's going to be a nice soft shot coming out. You might hit the slingshot, might come to the flipper, might just come over here, you know, but you can play around with it and figure it out. So,
our adventure begins.
That's what I do with the cannon. Just get that tip of the plunger in that little corner of where the nipple goes on the back housing, and you should have a nice consistent flow every single time. And here, I'll do another one to show you. So went right over there. It was a little hard, but, and obviously it sucks when they're going over there because it's a little unpredictable. It is a Magic Pixel table after all. However, when it's going that soft, you kind of have time to react. So I prefer this strategy more. Now, here's something that I haven't heard anybody talk about yet. So when you get your ball save, right? Well, okay, so here's the ball save. It automatically shoots out. Remember the randomness, right? We don't like that. So there we go. And we're just going to get it to fire again. All right. So I'm going to fire. I'm going to let it drain, let the ball save do its thing. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pull my plunger back. Pull it back right away. It doesn't auto fire. So now you're eliminating that randomness, and then you can set your shot up again. Get that angle right at the tip, and a nice softer. Well, that defeated the purpose, but it's a softer shot. So you can disrupt those auto shots just by pulling your plunger out. So it's something that I've been starting to do, and it's been helping me greatly. Because I can't count how many times I've drained, pulled the plunger shot, and it's bounced around and went right down an out lane, and you had no control over it. Zero. You just gave a ball away for free. So the more control you can have in this game, the better, especially with Magic Pixel physics. So the second tip is moving the ball from one flipper to another. When you are able, say I want it on the other side, I'm gonna actually just nudge it over to the other side and trap it. So use your other button here. You can nudge with the just physically nudging, but the problem with that is there's a little bit of a delay to that. But with the buttons, it's pretty good. You kind of want a little speed with the ball. If I try to nudge here, I'm not going to be able to trap it, but I can still, if you're good at it, you can get your shot that you want. But I'll give you a show here. I'll see. Oh, and there you go. I was able to trap it on that one. A lot of the time it doesn't work out that way. So let's try the other way. See, that's usually what happens. But just use your nudges. You got two fingers up here anyway, and then just use your back fingers to hit that nudge button. You don't even have to move your hands, right? So that covers nudging back and forth, right? Most Magic Pixel games are pretty decent with this little nudge here. I don't recommend it on a Zen or something like that. You can try it out, but I don't recommend. If you want to just do a rolling transfer on a Zen, you kind of want to nudge forward and get it to pop up and over. But this one, those are my tricks for ball control. Just nudge to transfer over, and don't be afraid. Like say you're working on your rollovers, go for this ramp right here. Your cannoneer ramp, the one where he can trap the ball. Just make sure he's not there. Swing it around, come down, get your light, nudge it over, trap it, do that shot again. And do that until they're all full. And then you'll get your ball save and your kickbacks, your returns. But in a nutshell, the biggest thing I would have to say that has helped my game the most is taking the auto shot out of the game. I'm telling you, just do it and control your own destiny by using the plunger. You'll be a little bit more consistent, I think, and you won't lose any balls needlessly. So that sums up my tips and tricks for ball control. All right, so now we're going to talk about strategy. Really comes down to what kind of player you are and what you like to do, but I'll cover some of the basic ones. Well, most of them that I know of anyway. First one is obviously the quest line. Do your hit targets, do tall tale, get it activated, get on a roll, get these completing so you don't have to reactivate hit. If you complete them all, that's 406 million. Plus whatever else you've done on the board, like just random hits and stuff for your multipliers, that kind of thing. And you get that extra ball. Remember, if you do it a second time, you get a 50 million bonus instead of the extra ball. So that is 456 million. So with that together, you're looking at 962 million. My math is correct. So if not, then light me up in the chat or in the comments. If you do that twice, if you're able to do that twice, that's a billion-point game. And remember, these are points. You don't have to do the risk and cash them in. It's all points. It's instant points. So if you can do that, that's a billion-point game, and that's top tier, man. That there's no question. Like perfect example, what is it currently? 890 million, and that's from my boy Tomato Grass, you know. So that doesn't shock me at all. But 890 million, and I can pretty much guarantee you that wasn't the strategy that he did. But it's a tough strategy. You know, it is it's a hard one. But hey, if you can do it and master that ball control, man, you're going to be top tier, right? So obviously the other one is your islands, doing fortress, treasure, you know. I would always try to manipulate my slingshots to do the treasure, because you have a chance of completing that quest early. Or I shouldn't call it a quest because this is your quest line, but you know what I mean. So concentrate on the treasures if you can. The fortress, remember, when the skellies come up, whether you're doing 3, 6, or 10 skellies, you have to do them all. And remember, these modes don't. The good thing is the modes don't end when you drain. You kind of pick up where you left off when you come back into the playfield. The other one is just ship battles. Going through, I believe there's no end to them because I know I have done more than one of each during a gameplay. So, as far as I know, it just keeps going and going and going and going. There's no indicator to say, oh, you did a sloop, a brigantine, and then a galleon, so now you can't ship battle. I don't think there's an end to it at all. And then the other strategy is doing your equipment and your weapons all at the same time. Keep going for equipment to get that bonus. So compass, lantern, spyglass, do it again. Just keep doing, master those shots. Every time it's going up there, you're working on weapons at the same time. So with weapons being worked on at the same time, this brings up your multiplier, and then you're going for the extra ball. And then remember, the 12th time completing, so 11 is your extra ball, the 12th time and beyond, it's 5 million every time you pop it up there. And sometimes you can fill that, all three of them in one, depending on how it goes on the bumpers and how you are with transferring the lights over, right? I've had it before. I think I showed it earlier in this where it went 4 times multiplier, 6 times multiplier, 8 times multiplier, 10 times multiplier, all in the matter of like 30 seconds. I was just able to manipulate it, right nudges and right lights at the right time, and I just kept it up there. So it can it's rare, but it can happen. I'm actually lucky that I got that footage. So now that is a slow going one, but it pays off in the end if you're consistent and you're able to keep the ball alive, get some extra balls. It's slow to build up that progressive jackpot, we'll call it. But remember, it never resets. This is usually the big strategy that everybody's doing right now to get those big scores. I don't know if that's what Tomato Grass did on that one, but it might be likely. So, on that score, unless he's found a new trick. But that is how that goes. As far as ammo, like the balls, I don't go out of my way for them. It's not worth it. The reward is pretty low, in my opinion, for what you got to do. You can randomly hit them. this flipper is what is designed to be the one to hit those targets. And for me personally, I can't get consistent with this to be able to hit all 5 of those down in 30 seconds for the 20 million. I'm usually only getting 5. So ammo, I do not do at all. If it comes up, I completed it just by randomness. I'll go for it, get my 5 mil, and be done with it. But I never go for it. So those are the strategies. So now, how do I play? Well, depends on my mood. I'm a big Sea of Thieves fan. I played it since it was released. I don't play it often anymore. Well, I haven't played in about a year, I'll say. But it was one of my favorites. I really loved it. So if I want that nostalgia again, I know I shouldn't say nostalgia. The game's only like maybe 8 years old. But if I want to feel like I'm playing that again and I want to work on a quest line, then I'm going to do the quest line. I love a challenge. I do get frustrated, but I still love the challenge. Because if it's not hard, then did you really accomplish anything? So I'm looking to be able to complete this my first time. I have not yet completed it the first time. Been one away. So they get pretty hard later down the road, but the payout's pretty good. So if I want to think about PvP again, I know it's not PvP on the table, but pretend that I'm fighting another player, then I'll do my ship battles. And like I said, there's no end to it, so you can just keep doing it. See how many. I like to challenge myself, see how many ships I can take down before my game's over. So just different challenges you can set yourself. This table is really good to set up little mini games within it. I'd love to be able to do like a tournament of ship battles where the only thing you can do is the only thing that matters is how many ships you sunk, or how many treasure chests you find or something like that, right? I mean, you can do so many different things with this table the way the mechanics and the rule set is set up. It's pretty amazing. Um and but if I'm going for points, if my whole goal is points, then it's compass, lantern, spyglass, up to the top, get my multipliers, get my extra ball, keep doing that, growing that jackpot until, well, the bonus, growing that bonus until it's in the 20-25 millions. Remember, every time you hit a bumper, it goes up 100,000. So 10 hits, it goes up 1 million, right? It's a good strategy for just points. You don't need to cash nothing in. The only thing you're cashing in is once you hit spyglass, when you've done it in order, it's an instant cash in, right? You get it. So that is where the points is if you're just playing a points game. But if you want to play an adventure, you have so many choices. Then there's also just random. Randomly hit the ball, whatever activates first, that's what you work on. You know. I don't tend to do that because it frustrates me. So, but that pretty much wraps up this entire table. And I know this was a long video, guys. I'm sorry. But I wanted to do it in a way that felt a little bit more personal, so that I'm talking to you, trying to teach you what I know. Am I an expert? No. What am I at right now? I think I'm somewhere on the leaderboard. I'm 11th right now. I think I was 7th at one point, but I've been knocked down. So, coming for you, tomato grass. I'm telling you. All right. I don't see Ben in here. Ben's usually right beside tomato grass. Oh, Real Creamer. I've seen his name a lot. He's a good player. Let's see if we can find Ben. Well, there's Papa Brad. Good guy. What other names do I? Tampa Tech. Another good one. You know, these are all streamers, guys. Go check them out. You know, PG, he comes to my streams a lot. I don't think he streams. He might. I'll have to double check. But any other names I recognize? Not off the top here. I don't see Ben anywhere here. Maybe he doesn't own this game. Oh, there he is. God, 4th. Matt Ben is 4th. Mad Ben on. He's another good player. He's given me a lot of good tips too. These two, I'm telling you, they're always up there. But anyway, enough streamer talk. Sorry about that. I kind of got off topic. So, basically what I'm saying is, yeah, I may not be the greatest player at it, but I do enjoy it, despite its quirks. If you saw my review, I'm not going into them on this. You know, this is about how it is, how to play the game. Has nothing to do with what I think is bad or needs improvement. You can look at my other video. Maybe I'll link that on the cards at the end. So, guys, I hope I was able to teach you something here. And you learned at least one trick. I'm telling you, that plunger trick, top notch right there. That has changed my game a lot. So after I've reviewed the video, I realized I may have forgot something, and I can see a question coming up about, well, House, what about multi-ball strategies, right? Of course, most games, multi-ball is where it's at, and that's where the points are. However, in this, I don't even go for any multi-ball. Skeleton Lord or the Cannon multi-ball. If they come up and I trigger them, then obviously I do what I can with them. But it's not even a strat in this. You can get points a lot easier and a lot quicker too than doing multi-ball. I don't recommend it as a solid strategy just to pound away at multi-balls. If they come up, great. If not, trust me, you're not missing anything. They're not really worth it the way they are. Even if you get the multipliers on the cannon, not worth it. So just keep that in mind. Hope you learned something. And until next time. Well, that's it for this deep dive into the Sea of Thieves Pinball. I hope this guide helps you cash in those gold chests, defeat the Kraken, and conquer the leaderboard. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like and a subscribe for more pinball tutorials, reviews, and gameplay. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions or if there's another table you'd like me to cover. Until next time, may your shots be true and your scores be legendary. Thanks for watching, and see you on the high seas. Hey, look what I got. Look what I got, chicken.
Hell yeah. Do you want him back?
Actually, I do. Bet you my banana's bigger than yours.
It's a competition of bananas.
I can't figure out how to pull my banana out.
Not my... Hey, what the hell? I just been rough.
You like that magic trick? Swapperoo? Looking at about 250,000 once it's all said and done, maybe. Oh!
Did you get... Oh my... Did you actually get shot?
Yeah, dude. I went to sleep.
I am so sorry, dude.
That's
Holy
fucking
shit.
funny as hell. Did you shoot me out of the cannon? Like, from the cannon?
Yeah.
Oh,
Sorry, dude.
oh, fucking my own teammate put me to sleep.